Hello friends, welcome to another video from Carolina's Cottage. Today I would like to share with you a trend that I'm seeing and I'm liking it. I've noticed on the Pottery Barn and Ballard Designs and some of the other favorite websites I have, there is a trend toward primitive, and it's sort of a mix of French country and primitive, and I'm going to do a few flips today that I hope will inspire you to follow that trend. I'm seeing the inclusion and the return of black paint on a lot of decor items. So I'm going to be using that today in several items that I probably would have previously painted white. And what I like about this trend is that it's really easy to either incorporate farmhouse and French country with this primitive look, or to transition from one of those styles. Because I'm using chalk paint, I did not do any prep on this metal rooster that you see here. All I did was clean it up. I'm using Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. This next galvanized piece is, it has the look of a blackboard or slate, but it's not. It's black paint with white decals, and so to keep those from showing through the paint, I'm scraping those off with a razor, and then I'll do a little sanding since there was just a little bit of texture left. There's another couple of pieces in this video, in this section, where I'm not going to show them in this video because it's some items I painted for my own use at home, but I will show you what I decided to do with this old bistro picture. Once I got this galvanized piece smooth, I did put a different color on it, and I painted the trim black, and I used a light gray, a Parisian gray, for the background to this piece. One thing that's great about using black paint is it usually covers in just one coat, and especially if you're using a chalk paint that has a lot of pigment and it's a little thicker, then it just makes it really easy. On this bistro sign that has had a rubbed bronze border, I've painted that black with black chalk paint, and I'm going to use a Parisian gray from Folk Art chalk paint here to paint the background of this. I'm again going for this French country look with a little bit of primitive influence on it. I'm working on this canister, which is really a brand new canister. It does have a little bit of scuffing on the bottom, so I sanded that to clean it up a bit. What I'm doing here is just touching up the chalkboard section with some black chalk paint so it continues to have that matte finish, and then I will paint around it with a different color to give it a little bit more neutral look. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up yet, would you please do that now? It's a big help to my videos getting out to more people. The section that I'm painting here is Chiffon Cream, a Rust-Oleum chalk paint. You can find those on my Amazon link that I've listed below, or you can also find them at Walmart, probably Home Depot, a few other stores like that. I'm going to put 2.5 coats on this, so 2 coats and then just touch up some spots, and then I'll put a clear coat that with a matte finish over the chiffon cream portion, but I will leave the black chalk paint section without a top coat on it so it can be used as a blackboard. When I'm using chalk paint to paint a glass surface, I don't usually prepare that surface. All I do is clean it, and the chalk paint bonds just fine to anything glass. I use a top coat of Sweet Pickens clear top coat that is food safe. Their milk paint is also considered food safe. I'm finishing up this rooster with a ribbon that sort of makes him country French, sort of farmhouse, and I'll show you a little bit later in the video how you can add something to also add that primitive influence. So stay tuned for that. For the next part on finishing up my galvanized wall hanging, I forgot to turn my camera on when I was stenciling this, but I'm going to show you the stencils I used. They're Iron Orchid designs. I'll have them linked in the description below. And then this is how it looked when I finished the stenciling. And my mistake there, these are IOD stamps, not stencils. Next, I want to prevent the ink from getting onto the part of the stamp that I will not be using here. And then I will put tape on that to prevent the ink from getting on the bottom portion of the stamp. Some creators recommend sanding your stamps when they're new before you use them the first time, but I really like that crisp look, and I feel like it has a little bit of a distressed look when you don't sand the stamp surface. Once you have the stamp in place, it's best to keep one hand on the stamp and just tap or press lightly the other areas on the stamp to make sure that you have a good contact with the surface that you're stamping. And sometimes I do need to go back and re-stamp where maybe the stamp is a little more faint than I want it to be, and that was the case here. There was a section on the breast of the chicken and then on the face of the chicken where I had to go back and carefully position that back over the previous place I stamped and just try to get it a little more clear. And then I think it's a nice touch to finish it off with the edges of a floral stamp and just kind of make random designs around the edges so that it looks like there is greenery or branches or florals kind of draping into the picture from the background. Before I paint the top coat on these two items that I've just stenciled, I'm going to spray a matte finish top coat over them so the stamp doesn't smear. I've had these sometimes smear when I paint the top coat over them with a brush if I haven't sprayed them, so I just don't want to risk that. And I'm also putting a water-based wax on this. I think this is a Waverly water-based brown wax that I'm putting just on the edges of this to kind of camouflage where the two colors meet each other in case I haven't gotten the lines exactly straight. But I don't want to put it over the whole background, just the edges and the corners. And again, this is just to lend a little bit of that primitive influence to the piece. If I were going to go for a French country style, I would not put this antiquing dark wax in the corners. I would just leave it. And for hanging this piece, I'm going to add some beige ticking ribbon that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. Later in the video, I will also add some brown ribbon to this and some of the other items that will give them an even more primitive look. Here are the finished pictures, and then I will also show some additions that contribute a little bit more to that primitive look. Please click on the pop-up at the end of this video and the thumbs up if you haven't done that yet. Thank you for watching today, and I will see you in the next video.